So, good evening everyone. You are watching the Slydog Racing League presented by Grace Bespoke, your printing and embroidery specialists. Visit gracebespoke.co.uk for more. I'm Sepp Bauer. Glad you're with us tonight for races 8 and 9 in China and Austria. We have already seen the qualifying. Sadly, we had to abort the session and the stream due to, once again, a technical fault. And so the qualifying is already in the books. We will jump right into the race. The starting grid will be Granty Boy, Chatty Duck in 2, Chris Panda 3, New FC fan Liam in 4, 5th James Punt, P6 Albert Dewitt, P7 Leonard Cam, P8 Josef Marados plus 5, in 9 Brian Wheeler, 10 David Lawson, 11 Known Asylum, 12 Trem, 13 Darren Mark, in 14 Butters, 15 Brown Flakes, in 16 Mercyman, 17 Leon Osborne, 18 Zitzguts, 19 Zguts. So both my prime friends, at least when speaking about the names in the last starting row. And the drivers are checking in. We will have 19 drivers active here tonight. Just one is missing, but that can happen 3 days before Christmas. And we will see a fair weather race, so dry conditions. And this race more or less likewise sets the starting grid for the second race. We see two 25% races. We had a quali as mentioned, and the top 10 of this race will be reversed for the second race, so P11 to the bottom will start in the same position they finish this race, and P9 and P10 of race 1 will equal the front row, P1 and 2 in the second race. So in these 25% races, as we already know, we have a lot of fighting, not much of technical and strategical issues, just racing and fighting. And we will probably have a lot of action going on with places 8, 9, 10 in the late stages of this first race. So the drivers have checked in. We will go into the installation lab. Let's have a look about the tires that are used for the start. We know the Parc Fermé rule that says that everyone who qualifies into the top 10 will have to start the race on the right. This set they have qualified on means Granty Boy, who qualified on a medium tire for P1, will have to start on this set of tire, and everyone else in the top 10 has to do that. As soon as we hit P11, we have the free tire option. That is actually already happened at David Lawson, as there was one grid penalty. And I am afraid there is one guy missing compared to the qualifying. I cannot find it out very shortly right here, right now. But Just checking the result of qualifying. Ah yeah, it is one of my special names friends. Zix is there, but Svitskat is not. So it makes my workday a little bit easier. But okay. So for the start, let's have a look at the positions changed. We need the track minimap. And then, as the grid is back in their starting boxes, I sincerely hope that the technical issues for the Slydog Racing Series will stop here and we will not have a crippled start phase again. It looks good, and the 5 red lights are on, and the race is started. Here we go in Shanghai. Good start for Chatty Dog, troubles for Granty Boy. Chris Panda, his main rival in the overall standings, next to him in the Snails. Granty Boy lost just 1 position for the moment. In the midfields, everything was rather okay, I would like to say. No big crash, no big chaos there. Looks quite good. The Ferrari maybe having an injured nose. Missing end plate, I think, on the Ferrari of Zix. But the rest is rather okay. No yellow, no VSC, no safety car, and everything was quite clean. Yeah, Granty Boy lost a position to Chatty Duck, but that was actually rather obvious due to the fact that he started on the medium, so the soft tire, the faster one, but rather... Oh, an Alpha Tauri is gone! An Alpha Tauri is gone! Who was it? Had to be Butters, who lost his car while accelerating. He is still more or less intact, but we'll need a new nose. Yellow, of course, here is already gone. I mentioned it in the qualifying in case you were with us or you rewatched it. I mentioned that it's very easily done to throw away your car when accelerating out on the long straight, and that is right what happened to Butters. So as always in the first laps, the table is confused. It always takes 1 or 2 laps until everything is sorted out for the computer, and until then, yeah, now it looks rather good again. So Chatty Duck in the lead, a bit over a second from Granty Boy. The positions are correct, just the gaps look like frozen. We have seen Tram losing a position to David Lawson. Tram in the McLaren now in P9. Our manager and host of the league, who is driving injured here today. He has had a little kitchen accident and will have a hurting finger. Finger is not the worst thing to hurt yourself, of course, but for us gamers, fingers are incredibly important, of course. And the first pit stop already in the background. No, not the first, it was known Asylum. The first one came from the bottom 3 wheeler, Butters Mark, who needed new noses. Butters, by the way, opted for hards. He will probably try to run through on this set of hards for the rest of the race. The track of China is not too much of tire consuming. Just the front left is a big problem. Oh, Brown Flake had a problem. There was a yellow. Brown Flake lost his Alfa Romeo on accelerating. Not a big trouble, just getting 2 or 3 drivers a slip through over him. And where were we? I think somewhere here. Here's James Punt, barely in the DRS window of Leonard Cam, but the rear wing is opened up and he gets closer to the Williams here. Next DRS zone is coming up just behind the next turn, left-hander here. And then there is the line, the Petronas is opened. And will he be able to attack Leonard Cam in the snails? No, not yet. Not yet. And Granty Boy on his mediums has crawled up to the duck. 4.5 tenths behind him here. In these turns, it's very important for him now to stay close, not to let him be squashed off the track in the dirty air. He managed it quite well, I would like to say. 3.5 tenths behind the duck. If he should stay that close, he should be able to attack and overtake duck here on the long straight. The duck knows it, tries to crawl away on the acceleration point. Half a second, that could work. That could work for Granty Boy. Ah, but the duck is fast. JD Duck is fast on the long straight. Always having a little bit of a lock tire here and there, so that shows that the duck is racing on the limit. And he was able to crawl away a bit, so his softs did not degrade yet. He is still able to put up competitive times. We see an overtake maneuver here by Albert de Witt against James Punt. That worked in the DRS zone on the start-finish straight. And he's right inside the DRS window of Leonard Cam again. Let's have a look what Granty Boy will do in this lap. So he's even closer now to Chatty Duck here in the intermediate sector. Even more dirty air. The game simulates that very well in this year. Showing himself a little bit in Duck's mirror. But he's again. He's closer this time. He is closer this time. He should feel the slipstream of the Mercedes ahead. He is zooming up to the Duck. Attack here. This could work. This will work. This will work. Well done by Granty Boy. And Chatty Dog just goes into the pits. It was obvious that Chatty Dog had to stop earlier with his softs. Let's stay with him for a second. Let's see which tires he will use. Next, the yellows, the mediums. I think he will try to go through on them. A lot of guys pitting right now. Leonard Cam, Albert David, James Punt, Josef Morados, Mercy Man. All of them in the pits. And the majority of drivers have stopped for mediums. So all of them will try to go through on the set of yellow. And Slydog is now behind Trem. He's closing up to him very much here. Trem with his hurt finger might have a problem on the brakes, so that could be a problem for him. Oh, Slydog could be a lot faster, had to brake heavily to not end his race in the rear of Trem. And Trem knows that he does not stand a chance in the fight. Just lets him pass, concentrates, focuses on his own race. And Trem is sadly not in the race for P2, so just lets the duck go through. A bit of a braking issue for Slydog here too. And with the incoming pit stops of Liam and Panda, Duck should be back on the podium position. That it is. Just David Lawson still ahead of him, and Grunty Boy, of course. Lawson started on mediums and did not pit yet, so that gives him a P2 at least for a lap or two. And what else is going on? Trem opted to stop now too. He will, yes, finish the race on mediums likewise, like almost everyone else did. Let's have a look what's going on here in the midfield. Our new FC fan Liam, just behind Zutks in the second Ferrari, who did not pit yet. So right ahead is Chris Panda, who is held up by Liam Osborne in... Oh, there's a lot of fighting going on. A foursome, so to speak. What a chase here from Panda and Osborne. And Osborne defends himself hard here in the hairpin. Still, Panda gets it done with his fresher tires. And Liam did so too. He got Zutsk and is right in the DRS window of his teammate again. Oh, braking mistake from Liam Osborne, or he just opted to let him go through. His teammate with the fresher tires, who has to make the most out of them, while Osborne is still in need of a pit stop, so maybe this was some team strategy going on here between the two Red Bull. We see a few penalties coming in now, just right now, to David Lawson for ignoring warnings. We are on board to Zugis. I'm sorry, but I have no idea how to pronounce his name, so I mentioned it already a few times. He and one other driver are my special friends about names. He probably will have to stop now. Already rather old mediums. Rather old compared to the very low amount of laps we go in this race. He will not stop now. This could have been a chance against Liam Osborne for a little undercut. Both have to stop still. Liam Osborne, of course, carrying a penalty with him, so Skits should just stay with him by 3 seconds. And he will be granted the position anyway. Let's have a look at the penalties really quick. Lawson, Osborne, Butters and Darren Mark, all of them have a +3. So it's not that much. China is not known as a track to be vulnerable for corner cutting penalties. But okay, it just is as it is. So right behind those two guys who are still on the old mediums, Osborne, Zguts, is Leonard Cam in P8, who will finish the race on this set of mediums, so he will rather not pit in again. And the Williams will split up here, that's it. He will not attack the Ferrari ahead here, not in the moment. I think he knows that both of them will have to stop. One of them does. One of them does, and he will attack the goods here. No, he won't, because the Ferrari is DRS equipped likewise, so no advantage for Leonard Cam. Bit of a braking problem here for the goods. This brings Leonard Cam into the discussion already here in the snail, and he gets it done. Fresher tires, more grip, and he pushed through. And while we have seen this racing and overtaking action going on, we see Liam Osborne, who came out of the pits right next to Mercyman, but is in front due to the better tire grip, probably, as he has equipped some fresh softs. Yeah, I wanted to say, Granty Boy has not pitted yet, and there he is. 9 laps, 10 laps now on his mediums. That's really long, really a long time on this rubber, and he will now get himself some fresh reds. That's it. And just go through on them for the last 4 races. So he lost a position on the start, but right afterwards it has been a rather silent race, I would like to call it, for him. Very tidy race. Still 3.5 seconds in front of Chetty Duck, and that will even get bigger now, the gap, as he is running on the fresher and faster tire. Oh, and there's been an accident. Josef Morados is out. Josef Morados, there is the wrecked Ferrari. Sadly, we didn't see it. There is no replay option in live streams, of course. And yes, Morados is out, so he is already settled to be the last driver in the starting grid for the Austrian race afterwards. And as we haven't seen any kind of safety car or virtual safety car, really nothing, not even a VSC phase, there are quite big gaps here right now on the deciding positions. So there is in the whole grid as just one person who is in the DRS window, and that is Mercyman, being 7/10 behind Known Asylum. And that means that it's not that much of action going on for P10. Bit of surprise, as we usually see that in the Slydog Racing League. But not today, at least doesn't seem like. 2.5 laps left in the race. P10, the pole position is now held by Brian Wheeler. Pole position in the second race, of course. Zigzits now finally in the pits. And Brian Wheeler will overtake him here. Yep. Liam Osborne does so too. So the new pole leader for the second race is now Liam Osborne here in his Red Bull. Just chasing Brian Wheeler, but he still carries a penalty. And has just increased the seconds, the penalty seconds. So he's now a +6. That means Zigzitz has to stay within 6 seconds. There was, I don't know, a bit of a mistake maybe by Brian Wheeler. For some reason Wheeler is now ruled behind Liam Osborne. That means Wheeler is again the pole setter for the second race. But this +6 seconds for Osborne will really puzzle that in the end. So the pole is up for grabs again. With +6, Liam Osborne would be ranked back to P11, and Zigzitz would all of a sudden be the pole setter. So, yeah, didn't I say it? Didn't I say it? There is always some action going on for P10. And so is it again here today. No big fights, no big action for the podium, or rather the game win. That is the race victory. That is rather decided yet already, as long as no one commits a mistake from the top 3. But the big question is, who will be in pole for the second race? And right now it would really look like Zigzitz in pole, Brian Wheeler in P2, and Liam Osborne, the big loser, being ranked back to P11. So, until we have the decision, let's have a look. James Punt, the only one in the DRS window. But still, yeah, half a second away from Albert de Wit. He is zooming into him here. Maybe he will have a chance for an attack in the next upcoming DRS zone right here. We have a bit of yellow. Was brown flags, I think? No, there's definitely no chance for an attack for Punt on Albert de Wit here. So let's jump to our leader, who is already in the last sector here. As I said, very silent race, not a lot of camera time. Actually, I would like to say no fight at all, I think, for Granty Boy. He lost the position on the start, but he didn't panic. He knew that his time would come. And he really made his race work the best he could. And just one turn left for him until we can say, once again, congratulations, Granty Boy! And while he has won the race, it's gonna be very close what will happen for the front row. So Liam Osborne has 9 seconds, the gap to James Punt. He will not close it. He even committed a mistake here. So with his penalty, Zigzitz and Brian Wheeler will definitely overtake him. So Brian Wheeler here ranked in P11. Wheeler will be the pole sitter in the next race. As soon as all these 3 guys cross the checkered flag, the table will update itself. And Liam Osborne will be angry. He will bite in his wheel. There it is. There it is. Congratulations to the final result. Slydog in P2, Chris Panda in 3, Liam in 4, Leonard Cam in 5, David Lost in 6, Albert de Wit in 7, James Punt in 8, Zigzitz in P9, And Brian Wheeler in P10, who will start in pole position. And Liam Osborne, the second to Red Bull. Yeah. The big loser of the late stages in this race. And here's the podium. We see once again, Garanti Boy in the prime position. And here's some champagne. The virtual version of Ottmar Schaffenauer getting himself a lot of champagne in this season. Michael Schumacher there in P3. Nice to see him. So, this is the final result of the race. Garanti Boy has won it once again, followed by Slydog in P2 and Chris Panda in 3. New FC fan Liam finishes in 4th. 5 for Leonard Cam, good race for him in the end. David Lawson in P6, a lot of points for him. P7 Albert David, P8 James Punt, P9 Zigzitz, P10 Brian Wheeler, 11 Osborne, 12 Known Asylum, 13 Mercyman, 14 our injured Trem, 15 Butters, 16 Darren Mark, 17 Bran Flakes, and number 18 Josef Mrados did not finish. So, with the final pictures of the UFOs here in Shanghai, we leave China, the big country in the middle. We are back to the lobby for a moment until our host James Punt customizes the grid for the second race. Everyone will take a moment for a little breather, for a little bit of a drink. I will do so too and be with you in just a bit. So we are back here for the second race, and we still see the lobby as the result of the last race. And for the starting grid, very easy to say, we will see Brian Wheeler in the pole, Zugzutz in P2, James Punt in 3, Albert de Witt 4, David Loss in 5, Leonard Cam in 6, UFC fan Liam in 7, Chris Panda in 8, 9 for Slydog, and P10 for Granty Boy. So our fastest driver will have to crawl through the field. P11 to the bottom will just stay as it is. This guy will not race, because that's me. So some pictures from the racing track, the Red Bull Ring in Spielberg, Steiermark. I am not Austrian, but this is more or less like my home Grand Prix, as there is no German Grand Prix left in the race calendar. So this is more or less my home world. And although I've never been there, I've been twice to Hungary, but never to Spielberg. Maybe I will do that in the next year or the next years, hopefully sometime. Mostly it collides with my other big hobby in the summer, so the weekends in summer for me are always pretty much filled, but we will see how things will sort out in the next year. So, as there is no qualifying, of course, we will just jump into the installation lap. The drivers are checking in here, having 30 seconds of time to load their setup into the game. Session timer has already started to tick down. In case you should not know the track, you will see it is very short. 10 turns, but it's not even really 10. So here we are in the starting grid, the installation lap led by Brian Wheeler. We'll see 18 laps, but those will go by really fast. And this right here is one of the best overtake possibilities in this race after the second DRS phase. Here's already the third, so this is the third DRS zone, even though we have just seen 2 corners before. So as I mentioned in the qualifying, in case you watched it, the Austrian track is actually one big DRS zone. There is no real straight that is not a DRS zone. Let's have a look at the tires. It's rather mixed. So a lot of guys starting on softs, but not everyone. Granty Boy will start on mediums again. Osborne next to him does so too, likewise to Chris Panda. And in P2, Zugzutz. So we have seen in the first race that the medium starters had a bit of trouble and lost a position or two from the start. That's just obvious, as the medium does not have the same amount of grip. And let's see if this will happen here again, if Granty Boy might lose a spot or two from the early get-go again. So the starting grid is formed up, and the race in Austria is started. Clean start from everyone, crawling up to the first turn, the hill, up the mountain. No big crashes anywhere. Was rather okay. I think David Lawson injured his nose. I think there was a bit of a touch for him. Turn 3, everyone gets through rather cleanly too. Butters under pressure here. Oh, some debris flying off the front wing from Mercyman. It was, I think, at least he was involved in some pushing and shoving there. But Brian Wheeler defended his lead in the first lap. Chetty Duck in P9. So here we are in lap 2. The table is confused again, so let's just ignore the ups and downs there and focus on the racing action that is going on. Oh, a bit of a fight here. That's David Lawson, who has to defend his position against Leonard Cam, and he did so. Two racing bodies. Leonard Cam, pushing his body on the gravel. That's not how you treat your body. Oi, oi, oi. And Chetty Duck crashed into the rear. Chetty Duck crashed into the rear of David Lawson, but I think his front wing is still intact. Wheel-to-wheel action here. Ooh, hot starting phase for David Lawson. Uh-oh. Hopefully that will not repeat itself on Wednesday when Lawson and Leonard Cam race each other again. And there was an incident in the background. There's a yellow flag because Zitz has ruined his race. Oh, such a good starting position for the second Ferrari, and Chetty Duck is out. I can't believe it. Chetty Duck is out. There it is, a broken Mercedes. Oh no. Sadly no replay, but the P2 of the last race is out here in the early phases. Likewise is Liam Osborne, so probably there was a collision between those two guys. And we see a safety car and pit stops. Brian Wheeler, the formerly leader, will get himself hards. He will run through on them. He can run through on hards, but he will not be too fast, I would like to say. A lot of pit stops here going on. Mostly the drivers stop for mediums. Only Wheeler and Lawson have stopped for hards. The Zitz even stopped for softs, so he will have to stop again. And Granty Boy is already up to P3. So the one who was chasing him the most is out, at least in the last race. The one who is chasing him in the overall standings, Chris Panda, is back to P10. Panda stopped for fresh softs. Interesting. So he will have to stop again in the end. And Trem in P2. Interesting. Very silently sneaking up. Because he did not stop yet. Likewise to Albert David. David, Trem, then Butters, Josef Morados and Mercyman on their used softs from the start. I suppose the pit stop window, they will probably run on them until maybe 11 or 12. So the fact that the whole pack is very close to each other now will mean that then when they have to stop, they will lose more positions than usual. Yeah, but it was a difficult decision. I don't know what I would have done if I was in the cockpit. Because the stop is very early, so you have to stop again. If you don't run on hards, like Brian Wheeler and David Lawson do. Yeah, safety car is in this lap, so in the last sector here, Albert David is the one who dictates the pace. No overtaking until the timing line on the start-finish straight. So Albert David still warming up his tires. He will pick up the pace sometime soon. Trem is very far behind him. Trem completely lost Albert David here. David already taking up the speed again. Butters is attacking Granty Boy here in the first turn. Taking a wide line, but that's okay. Granty Boy did not give up. Granty Boy here now in the better position for the next turn. Still wheel to wheel. Known Asylum is out now. He crashed in the first turn and Granty Boy got him now. Granty Boy rather defended his P3. That was it. Butters was attacking him. Unsuccessfully. Josef Morados here right behind Butters. There's no DRS, of course, until the third lap after a safety car. There is Chris Panda very close here to Mercyman, to right-hander here left. Ooh, and he attacks him already in between them. Oh, that was close. That was really close. Mercyman, I think he saw him and left him a little bit of breathing space. And better acceleration here for Panda. Now he got him. Panda is through here. And will chase his rival in the overall standings, who is in P2 now. Granty Boy overtook Trem. So this is a little threesome right behind. There's some action going on wheel to wheel. Josef Morados and Liam. Liam in the battle lane here. Gets it done. It's not over yet. Is it over yet? It is over yet. So the first 5 or 6 drivers are rather close to each other. We see some yellow in the intermediate sector. That's, I think, brown flakes. And pit stop for Trem and Butters. DRS activated here. Josef Morados almost crashed into the rear of Liam. And this is not over yet. Liam is still there. They leave each other some space. And Liam has intense trouble while accelerating, and that costed him another position. Chris Panda slipping through too. And here is Leonard Cam. There's a lot of fighting going on. We did not have that many position changes in China, but we race it out here in Spielberg. The two Renault battling it out here in the intermediate sector. Mercyman is definitely faster than his teammate, even though that his softs are already rather old. But used softs are obviously still better than rather new hards. Easily done here on the start finish straight. And Granty Boy's in the lead! Granty Boy's in the lead due to some mistake by Albert David. Ooh. Halfway through the race and Granty Boy made it from P10 to P1. Of course, backed up due to a safety car phase and a crash of Chetty Duck. But P1 is P1. There is some fight going on here in the followers from the podium. Oh, Josef Mrados, do not push him on the outside. And now there's a fight going on. Liam and Mrados both next to the track. Ooh. This group will deliver us some great fun for the next few laps. If they don't crash, of course. Panda filming us this threesome. He attacks Mrados. All of them have DRS equipped. How is that possible? Panda has to get his foot off the acceleration pedal. Wheel action and Panda overtakes both of them. Panda on the inside against both of them. Wow, great maneuver by the Panda. Congratulations for this maneuver of the day thus far, I would like to call it. And here we are on board with Leonard Cam, who is chasing Liam now. Liam, a lot of up and down in these last few laps. And there's some overtake action going on. Known Asylum is grey, so he's ghosted. We can easily ignore him. Albert David now in the pits has lost his lead, but it was obvious that had to come sooner or later. Ranty Boy is still not in the pits. And what's going on here? Leonard Cam in the DRS zone, but not good enough to attack him. But Liam commits a mistake. Liam gets Leonard Cam into the conversation. Leonard Cam here attacking him on the inside maybe. The next turn is tricky as it's going downhill. Leonard Cam has backed off. Not yet. He will hope that Liam will drop out of the DRS window from Josef Mrados. He's right on the edge from 1 second. Now it would look like he's in again. If he would be outside, he could easier attack him on the next straight. And Liam will have the RS2. Yes, he does. And might be able to attack Mrados here soon. Granty Boy, meanwhile, was in the pits, or is in the pits, and has changed for soft tires. So same strategy as in China. And wheel to wheel, he needed the wide lane, therefore not the best acceleration, but due to DRS he is still close to Mrados here. Battle for P2, but they will both have to stop again. No decision yet. Josef Mrados on his 11 laps old softs, he will have to stop soon. They are about to fall off. And he does right now. Yes, he does. No rubber left on his tire. So let's sort things out. Chris Panda in the lead, but on his softs he will have to stop again. New FC fan Liam and Leonard Cam following on mediums, but they are already 8 laps 02. I am not sure if they can conserve them long enough for 5.5 laps left. I'm not sure. Could be working, could be, but this is a long time for mediums on a 25% race. In 4 then already Granty Boy. If those two guys in front of him will have to stop, he will be easily granted the race win. If they will not stop, he has to fight his way through. He is coming closer like hell right now. He has decreased the gap by over a second in just 1 lap, and with his faster soft tires he will have a big advantage on them, but you have to get it done first. It's maybe not that easy as it sounds to get past of Liam and Leonard Cam. We see some yellow already gone again. Leonard Cam here in the DRS window of Liam, and he knows who and what is behind him. The incredible racing force behind him, Granty Boy, just racing everything and everyone down here in this season thus far. And Granty Boy gets bigger and bigger in his rear view mirror. Granty Boy even in the DRS window here right now. There we are on his airbox. So he can attack Leonard Cam maybe already right here. Leonard Cam can defend himself a bit easier due to DRS for himself likewise. And the attack here, no chance, really no chance for Leonard Cam to defend himself. Granty Boy already back to the podium. And will he overtake Liam right away here again? He does. This looks so easy. This seems so damn easily how Granty Boy is hunting down everyone here. Yeah, as we see a penalty for new UFC fan Liam. Let's have a look at that as we are already close to the last few laps here in this race. Let's have a look at the penalties. New UFC fan Liam already in plus 9 seconds. So Leonard Cam just has to stay behind him, not pick up a penalty likewise, and he will be granted the podium position. Leonard Cam has a plus 6 likewise. That means James Punt might get his position granted in the end. Punt might be 4th in the end. Plus 3 for Albert David, Wheeler and Lawson. Plus 9 then for Trem. Plus 12 for Butters. Plus 9 Mercyman. Plus 6 Mark. Plus 12 Known Asylum. Plus 3 Bran Flakes on the bottom of the grid. Let's have a look at this in the last lap again. And Leonard Cam is still fighting Liam. They are still close to each other here. And for the moment, let's have a look at this position here. Fight for P10, the last granted point. Trem is holding 1 point in his hands here right now, but Butters is trying to change that. The ice zone coming up. Butters attacking Trem. Not yet, not yet. But soon, I'd like to say. Here's the attack, Trem defending on the inside. Ooh, and there's a Ferrari! What's this Ferrari doing? Wow! Every one of them was in need to take the wide line. And Josef Mrados overtook Butters. Wild face. Josef Mrados attacking Trem here. Wow! Wow, what an intense maneuver. And I think that costed Trem an end plate of his front wing. Couldn't see it yet. But Josef Mrados, it's really, yeah, there's an end plate missing. Mrados really flew over them. Not just fly over them, he rather tanked over them. And as we are in the last lap, we have a big surprise here, because Chris Panda somehow managed to conserve his incredible old soft tires through the whole race. Granty Boy is flying towards him, but there are just 2 turns left for this surprise win here. For Chris Panda, he has done it. He got through. Congratulations, Chris Panda. Then in P2, Granty Boy. P3 is given to Leonard Cam. Congratulations. P4, James Punt. P5, Albert DeWitt. P6 is granted to Brian Wheeler due to penalties. The pole setter. P7, the finish for UFC fan Liam. P8, then David Lawson. P9, Zixitz, due to, although his spin in turn 1 after the safety car. P10, Josef Mrados punching himself into the top 10 in the end. P11, Trem with his hurt nose. Yeah, we will finish the race sequence here with our host, with Trem, who pushed through the race on a injured nose, who was driving with a injured finger. So well done for him. And here is Michael Schumacher winning the race in Austria. And this is the final result after penalties. What a surprise! Chris Panda has won the race in front of Granty Boy and Leonard Cam. Then we see James Punt in 4, Albert DeWitt on 5. P6 goes to Brian Wheeler, P7 Liam, P18 David Lawson, P9 Zixitz, P10 Josef Mrados, P11 for Trem, 12 for Butters, 13 Mercyman, 14 Darren Mark, P15 Known Asylum, P16 Bran Flakes, and Chetty Duck and Liam Osborne sadly did not finish. So, as the session will end in 20 seconds, there is not much left for me to say. We will have one Monday, 1 week of break from Slydog action. There will be a Christmas livery special, an unranked race next week, Monday evening. But the real Slydog Racing League action will return on the first Monday of 21. That is January the 4th. As we always know, the Slydog Racing League starts at 8:30 p.m. of UK time. We will then race on the tracks the Circuit of the Americas in the USA and the Hungaroring in Magyarország, Hungary. I was very enjoying delivering this racing action home into your living room. Thanks for being with us. The Slydog Racing League Tier 1 was presented by Grace Bespoke, your printing and embroidery specialists. Visit gracebespoke.co.uk for more. Thanks for being with us. I hope you will have a lovely Christmas time with your beloveds at home. Merry Christmas, have a good start to your new year. Stay safe in these times, everyone. And keep racing!